Remember, they're changing my voice. In this video, I challenge every white supremacist, every token minority, every attractive female, every psychologist, and anyone else who could possibly not agree to try to present a viable counter-argument. This video is called Heaven's Mandate. The idea of a Heaven's Mandate is a little bit more confusing than the explanations you'll find on the internet because it touches on the divine. But in a nutshell, there's a bunch of countries like Japan and China and so on and so forth that argue that the emperor's rule was divine. Now, when you do it racially and nationally, it is incorrect, right? You say, well, I'm Japanese, the emperor's Japanese, his rule is divine. Wrong. It has to be universal, pinpointed moral precision that established that rule. And that cannot occur after I'm gone. After I'm gone, no one can argue that God demands that you date them. No one can argue that after I'm gone ever again, ever, ever, ever. Okay? If they do, they're lying and they're complete idiots, and that's hell's mandate. Okay? Righteousness, justice, universal pinpointed moral precision, that's the difference between heaven's mandate, right? And if you're an agnostic, the mandate of logic, of wisdom, wisdom's mandate, the source of morality's mandate, the true nature of right and wrong. If you think there's no wrong, then why don't you sign up to get thrown into a pit and flogged by a bunch of, sadistic, hedonistic, narcissistic filth until you die and get raped and abused and burned with hot irons? Because some things are unfair to the point that they're wrong, right? So right there, I've proven that right and wrong exists, unless you're a fucking idiot. Now, you might argue how right and how wrong it is, but you can't argue that it doesn't exist, because we can show an example that torturing somebody for no reason whatsoever is wrong. Torturing someone to feel good about yourself is wrong. There's other ways to feel good because you didn't take the time to figure out what those ways are. You think that it something must be done so you calm down and govern more effectively. That is fucking sick. Okay, so that's the part where basically everyone on the planet would agree except for some crazed Satanist who just got done raping and abusing a kid or something, who doesn't want people to think about what's right and reject what is wrong. Now let's talk about the 4 points that people might not agree with. Number 1, the heart of the morally precise righteous man is worth infinitely more than the opinion of an attractive female that is a conformist. The heart of the morally precise righteous man is worth infinitely more than the opinion of an attractive female that is a conformist. So did she conform to Nazi Germany, Trump America, Biden America? Okay, she conformed to Antifa. What did she conform to? She's a fair weather. What I mean by conformist is the fair weather conformist. Whoever's in charge, that's her side. Whatever her parents and her friends say, that's her side. Her opinion means nothing because it changes with whatever goon is in charge. So her opinion about whether or not to reject the morally precise righteous man who says it's morally precise for you to date me, okay, is worth less than his heart, than not breaking, than the idea of not breaking his heart. So she must say yes, or she's doing the wrong thing. And what is wrong is very serious. You think people should be able to do what's wrong, and that should be society's standard? You should be thrown into a pit of lions and mauled to death for no reason. You should be flogged every day for close to no reason, other than to show you firsthand why you're wrong. If you think the rule of what is right shouldn't be the rule, you are a sick fuck. And your heart and your family, your offspring aren't worth a damn unless they're being led by the morally precise righteous man. That's simple. Point number 2. When the righteous man approaches the attractive female for the first time, he is put on trial in the court of her opinion, response, and actions. Again, when the righteous man approaches the attractive female for the first time, he is put on trial in the court of her opinion, response, and actions. Okay? So going back to point number 1, if she is a conformist and she doesn't concede moral precision is greater, and that it's the right thing to do is to date Mr. Right on the right path, doing the right thing in his right mind, who is righteous, okay, then her opinion isn't worth anything. The righteous man's divine right to say, I demand that you date me, not necessarily in those words, not necessarily like that, is greater than her right to say no. Why? Because she's a fucking idiot. Should I ask my dog or my doorknob how to govern too? If you do not have that basic sense, then you should be a slave to the righteous immediately. You should run, not walk, to submit. Think about it. Look at the state of the world. How many scumbags are on this planet? Why? Because female have bad dating judgment. Guys have bad dating judgment, generally speaking. And their parents raised them to be fucking scum. That is why that is happening. That's why these people, these dumbasses and these evil people are everywhere. That's why 1 in 4 little girls is molested or raped, sexually molested or raped before the age of 18. 1 in 6 little boys, the same thing. That's why the 9 million people starve to death every year on this planet or die of hunger-related issues, including 3 million children. That is because their fucking opinion. That is because what they think is right. That's because what they think is pursuing happiness. Unacceptable. Even your founding fathers said, those slave-owning dogs said, that your freedoms end where someone's rights begin. Point number 3. Emos, goths, rockers, rap fans, Manson fans, etc. are all in cultures that are put there and allowed by the social clubs and social engineers and the governing class to deceive people into thinking that the white and token minority social club models are ideal. Think about how much of their cultures are marketed to them by corporations and exactly why. So what is an emo? What's a goth? What's a rocker? What's a rap fan? What's a Manson fan to the business suit wearing guy? They're losers. Now, why would they accept being a loser? What options are placed there by the governing class for them? If you're a poor white person who's kind of like an emo, you're like, I may as well be an emo. If you're sad and you're into gothic stuff, you're like, I may as well be a goth. Why isn't there something there to take them out of their miserable state? Why is their path a pit? A path leading straight to the pit. Rap fans with no higher cause. Like, oh, I'll just be a groupie for Snoop Dogg or Lil Wayne or whoever they're listening to these days. Why is that there? Manson fan. Why on earth would you be a Manson fan unless your governing class and your families and your neighbors and your cultures and your society and your community failed you? Why would you do that? Why are they cutting themselves when they do? Because they're allowed by the social clubs, social engineers, and the governing class. Why? To deceive people into thinking that the white and token minority social club types or models are ideal. Right? Model citizen, a model. Who does a fancy lingerie model date typically? Some fancy guy, some social club scoundrel, some corporate dog in a business suit, right? That's why those groups exist, to create that contrast. Contrast, if you will. There's some wordplay for you that you must know is correct. Point number 4. Decent to righteous people submit to the true King of righteousness. I am the last. If they are decent to righteous, then they submit to the King of righteousness. The guy who makes these points, who automatically separates me from other people, anyone not making these points and insisting on them every day of their life, one way or another, in a way that's clear cut, okay, is not decent to righteous. They're not comparable to me. They're beneath me. I'm better than they are. I'm more good. I'm better. I'm Mr. Right. They're Mr. Wrong. They're dead wrong. Look at all the people that are suffering. They're way off. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Anyone who's decent and righteous by default submits to me, the King of righteousness. Everyone else isn't righteous because they're fucking selfish. They don't know better. What have you.